The air hangs heavy here, doesn't it? Thick with the scent of damp earth and something else, something ancient. For generations, folks in the backwoods, down those winding dirt roads where the pavement forgets to tread, they've spoken in hushed tones of the Carter brothers. Notorious criminals? Maybe, but their legend, it stretches far beyond the confines of any prison cell. It claws at the edges of reality itself. They say the brothers, Silas and Beau Carter, were born under a bad moon, twins twisted from the same dark root. Some claim they were the product of a forbidden union, their mother touched by something other. Whatever their origin, a darkness seemed to cling to them from the start. They were inseparable, their bond unsettlingly strong, their eyes holding a coldness that could freeze the blood in your veins. The whispers started small, like the rustling of unseen things in the underbrush. Livestock gone missing, strange tracks leading nowhere. Then came the bolder acts. Robberies along the lonely highways, folks terrorized in their own homes. The Carter brothers, they called them. Their reputation grew like a malevolent vine, choking the peace of the countryside. Law enforcement tried, Lord knows they tried. But the brothers were like shadows, melting into the dense swamps, knowing the hidden paths and waterways like the backs of their calloused hands. They say the bayou itself protected them, swallowing them whole whenever the scent of justice grew too strong. But it wasn't just their cunning that fueled the fear. It was the unnatural things people started to witness. Tales of impossible escapes, of the brothers seeming to appear and disappear without a trace. Some swore they moved with an unnatural speed, their eyes glowing in the dark like nocturnal predators. And then there were the stories of what they did in those hidden corners of the swamp. Whispers of dark rituals, of deals struck with things best left unnamed. They say they built a crude altar deep in the woods, a place where the very air felt heavy and wrong. Locals avoided those parts, marked them on their mental maps with a shiver and a prayer. One particularly chilling tale speaks of a traveling preacher who stumbled upon their territory. He was a good man, they say, full of faith, but he vanished without a trace. Weeks later, some trappers claimed to have found his Bible, torn and defiled, near that dreaded altar. They say the pages were filled with strange symbols, not of this world. As the years crawled by, the line between reality and folklore blurred. Were the Carter brothers just brutal outlaws who knew the land well, or was there something more sinister at play? Some say they made a pact, traded their humanity for power, for the ability to evade capture, to sow fear. The origins of their legend, like the swamp itself, are shrouded in mystery. Unlike some urban legends with a documented starting point, the tale of the Carter brothers seems to have evolved over time, drawing from various sources and fears. Louisiana, like many frontier regions, has a history of real-life outlaws and bandits who terrorized rural communities. These individuals, often operating in remote areas and adept at evading authorities, could have provided a kernel of truth for the Carter brothers' initial persona as dangerous criminals. Perhaps there were local stories of particularly brutal or elusive pairs of brothers who committed crimes in the region. The rich cultural tapestry of Louisiana, with its strong French, African, and Native American influences, is fertile ground for superstition and tales of the supernatural. The idea of individuals making pacts with dark forces or being inherently touched by evil resonates with these long-standing beliefs. The dense, often inaccessible nature of the Louisiana swamps and bayous lends itself perfectly to mysterious and unsettling stories. These environments can feel inherently dangerous and otherworldly, providing a believable backdrop for figures who can seemingly vanish without a trace and engage in clandestine activities. For generations, these stories would have been passed down through word of mouth, around campfires and on porches during humid evenings. With each retelling, details could have been embellished, fears amplified, and the brothers transformed from mere criminals into something far more sinister. The concept of twins, particularly those who are malevolent or share an unsettling bond, is a recurring trope in folklore and literature across cultures. This archetype taps into primal fears about duality and the potential for darkness within seemingly similar individuals. The Carter brothers, being twins, likely amplified their menacing presence in the local imagination. So, while there might not be a single patient zero for the Carter brothers legend, it's more likely a potent brew of historical anxieties, local superstitions, the evocative landscape of the bayou, and the timeless power of a good, scary story passed down through the generations. They become a shadowy embodiment of the region's hidden fears and the untamed wildness of its heart. The brothers eventually vanished. Some say they finally met their end in a bloody shootout with a determined sheriff's posse. Others whisper that the swamp finally claimed them, its murky depths swallowing their wicked souls. But that's not the end of the tale, is it? Legends don't die so easily, especially not ones steeped in fear. Even now, decades later, there are those who claim to have seen them. Not as old men weathered by time, but as they were. Those cold, piercing eyes glinting in the darkness. They say on certain nights when the moon hangs low and the fog rolls thick, you can still feel their presence in the air. A sudden drop in temperature, the unsettling silence of the usually vibrant swamp, a feeling of being watched by something unseen. Some foolish souls, drawn by morbid curiosity or the lure of forgotten loot they might have stashed, have ventured into the deepest parts of their territory. Few, if any, have returned to tell their tales. They become just another whisper in the swamp, another layer to the legend of the Carter brothers. So, the next time you find yourself driving down a lonely Louisiana road, the cypress trees looming like skeletal fingers, remember the story of Silas and Beau Carter. Remember the darkness that once stalked these lands, and listen closely to the whispers of the bayou. You never know what old evils might still linger in the shadows. If you want to hear more spooky and mysterious tales, click the subscribe button and give us a like. If you've heard an urban legend tale and want us to explore its hidden depths, leave us a comment below.